Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Bienvenue, Super en Diffusion, épisode 12? 12? Episode 12. Hey, everybody. All my gals and geese, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It is August 20th, Thursday, August 20th. For some, it's the fourth day of a big adventure. For some, who knows? Maybe for you, who knows? In any case, we have some breaking news. BL, Le Jeu de la Carte, has moved past many, many maps. Many, many, many maps. BL is now, I just want to say, approaching the end of the map. Shel Silverstein said, where the sidewalk ends, BL is approaching where the map ends. BL is 35 to 40 kilometers from Marseille. If we were looking at these maps and we're like, how far is his character from Marseille? I would say 35 to 40. The fastest time anybody's crossed these maps solo was 86 hours and 23 minutes. Let me confirm. Hold please. Hold please. 1 second. Just talking to our research department. Hello. Yep. Okay. Got you. What's happening? Don't have it right now. Hold on. Wait for it. It's going to be worth it. Okay. 86:14. 86 hours, 14 minutes, which is 6:14 p.m. local time. BL is on pace to arrive before then to break that record, but it is going to be close. It is going to be a fight to the finish of the maps of Le Puy de la Carte. So we're going to see. Otherwise, some of our other friends, some of our other nos amis are, moving through Provence, are approaching Gap, are departing Grenoble. So we're going to take a bigger look at that in just maybe in a future episode of Super en Diffusion. We'll get down with Le Puy de la Carte, but we want to let you know we are on Bill Watch. But right now we have something very exciting, something very, very new. I am going to bring in for a call right now, filmmaker, founder, connected to a crew who's been a big part of the TSP community for quite some time. This is the Berlin Braves, out of, you guessed it, Berlin. They were here with us a few years ago and have a film that is launching today. We have an exclusive interview with these two folks. And so let me see if I can pull them in right now. Just give me one moment. Hey, Alex. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How's the air in Chamonix?
Oh, it is crisp. There's a mist and a light rain happening. You can maybe see behind me. It's beautiful, good for the soul. Are you in Berlin right now?
I'm in Berlin. Yeah. So that's not a fake background there. This is real.
No, no AI, no CGI. We are as real as it gets here on Super en Diffusion, just like you. I see the greenery right there. It's good for the oxygen, good for the lungs.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm in Berlin.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Do we know if Chris is going to join us?
Yeah, Chris just texted. He should be on in a minute, if that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think to start, I definitely want to talk about the film and about the experience of making the film. But for anyone who is uninitiated or maybe needs a reminder, can you tell us about the Braves and what you've built over the past few years?
Yeah, for sure. So Berlin Braves, based out of Berlin. We are a crew that have been around for what is more than 10 years now. I myself have been around. Hey, yeah, we should be. We're celebrating 15 years this year, exactly, actually. So I haven't been around for that long, but if Joey in the field, he is founder of the Berlin Braves, and I've been lucky enough to be part of this crew for the last few years. And we'll have Chris join us in a second, who is also a crew member of the Berlin Braves. He is the director of us. He was a director of this movie. Yo, timing. Look at him. The man
Speaking of, there he is.
Yeah. What's up, Chris?
Good. How are you?
Excellent.
Good. Just giving Scotty here some background on the Berlin Braves.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Alex, one more question for you, and then Chris, I want to get your thoughts on the film. Can you tell me, when y'all have come to different TSP experiences and you've brought a team, what is the process and the thought with who ends up on that team? Because obviously the crew goes much deeper than 6 people, 8 people. So how do y'all figure out who comes in and runs the different experiences?
Yeah, 100%. That's a good question. Sometimes it happens. It's a combination of things happening organically and us formulating a team that we feel will fit best for the environment. So like one of the things that we looked at when we put this team together is putting a team that know each other very well and would have that good synergy, considering it is a relay style type of race. We wanted, I guess, more or less like friends together, friends doing what is a road trip together, people knowing each other, having that type of communication. There was like this one early meeting we had before we even talked about anything with running that came up. We need to talk to each other. We need to communicate. Yeah, Chris, you remember that Zoom meeting, right? And I think that like set the tone for like, all right, we're a group of band, we're a band, we are friends, we are able to communicate and tell each other what we need to say in this trip. And so yeah, us being close together, and then the sort of organic part is who's available, who's willing to do it, who wants to say yes to something as crazy as this. So like, yeah, it's a combination of those things, Scotty.
Excellent. So now that we're all together, once upon a time, we hosted this relay from Chamonix to Marseille. The Braves came in for that race 2 years ago. Chris, you made a film, like a beautiful, like very unique film about it. I want to talk about the filmmaking process in a minute, but as y'all think and you reflect back on, that race experience a couple years ago, the first time it had ever been done, what are the reflections now, 2 years later?
Should I go
for it, Chris? Yeah, go for it.
I think one of the things that I took away from it, I think we were sitting on the flight on the way back, Alex, and we were talking about kind of, in regards to the film, and I was thinking about like how I was going to put it all together, and I said to you, Alex, I was like, hey, you guys did really well, and you said, no, we did, and I think in that moment it kind of occurred to me just after the race that everyone involved is part of the race. It's not just the runners, but really it's every single person. And that was something I didn't realize beforehand. And that was something that maybe I would have taken into account also in the film, maybe gone deeper into certain characters who were not just running, because I think that was something that I experienced was, maybe it would have helped me mental health wise to have gone running, and I think that was something that was just something that kind of occurred to me afterwards. That was something interesting that I didn't know beforehand, and I think also something that I picked up on, Alex, that we were before the race, I was speaking to someone and we were having a coffee just the night before the race, a few hours before, and it also just dawned on me then when the guy said, the race has already started, like the preparation is the race, and I think that's all these things that were just unknowing in the moment, or like, and even afterwards, and it all just kind of, settled in afterwards. And these are all just kind of things that kind of occurred to me, and experiences that kind of unfolded and without knowing. And you've got to just experience it, I think, to kind of understand all this,
Yeah. Chris, I think you sharing that, it really comes back to the ethos that we hope everyone embraces when they come here. And this concept of no spectators is like everyone, whether you're putting in Ks on the road and, running on the mountain, or if you are driving, or if you're making a film or photographing, or supporting in an active way back home, like you are a part of this race, you are part of the overall effort. We are changed because of your contribution. And so I love that hit, with y'all and the larger team on the way back. Alex, anything to add?
I think Chris said it very well. The race started well before we even got to Chamonix. That formation of the team coming together and us deciding to do this and say yes to this was, in a way, very scary, because we've never done it before. We've never done this type of race before. We didn't know, we had a plan, but we didn't know, there was no stress testing to that plan. There was no way to essentially replicate that beforehand. And so it took a lot of trust for everyone to say yes. And, saying yes to that was step number one. And that happened months and months before, we even hit the pavement.
So
yeah, I've just got one more thing to add that I wanted to say, because it just came to me in regards to, I think, what TSP and the experience. I think one of the beautiful things, and I think this kind of got shown into the film in a sense, is I think also just through the experience of like also, for example, the TSP in the Sisyphus is like, that was where I experienced it first, is you get the same level of appreciation and congratulation if you do, I don't know, 4 rounds, like 20K, as you did the person who finished. And I think that's a beautiful thing, you know. And I think that was something that, because often it's always talked about just the people who are finishing fast, and here it's more about the experience together. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think that also the details, for example, the things that we received in the package before racing, you know, like the clamp to get the flowers throughout the race, the local cheeses. I think all these little things are little beautiful things that you don't get in other races. And I think this is something very unique and special. And I think that all kind of impacted into us all. And I think this is also something which also kind of fueled this idea to take the film into a different perspective, in a sense, and a different,
Yeah, I mean, I think everything you're touching on is, I feel like it's important for us, for any experience that we have, to be reflective of the space that we're in. And I love that feels like it connected and added to your overall experience. So, Chris, the film, we're happy to announce that we're launching the film that you produced on the experience 2 years ago, Faith, today, across our shared channels. And so that will drop very, very soon. We're going to show the trailer right after we wrap this interview, so everybody here can get a sneak peek at Faith. But I know we're a bit tight on time. Chris, can you share a bit about the film? And it's shot beautifully and has a very unique perspective to it. As a filmmaker, what was your eye, and why did you choose to tell the story of the race in this way?
Yeah. I wanted to do something different as opposed to just a kind of after movie. And I think running has also been like a huge part of my recovery. Like, I got clean and sober like 7 years ago. And so running has been like a huge part of my recovery, And so running gave me like the community aspect, the place to, achieve something, and also to get inspired by others, And I think being in this running world, suddenly I also got, kind of dug into it, and I was listening to a podcast about ultra running and the mental health aspect of it. And I started thinking about it, and I also thought about, because I think often people think about running and that we're essentially running away from something, and I think that kind of got me into this idea of, if we're using the experiences that we have in life in order to fuel us, like the things that made us different become kind of our superpowers in the end, And I think this was something that I wanted to kind of see if this is within us all, but in our own unique way, because it's like you said earlier, it's kind of why do we go for a weekend running through the mountains? It's not exactly very relaxing, is it, that we come back to, so this was something just through it. I guess it's in a sense, it's telling a lot of my story through the lens of other people also on this race, And I think I think that's kind of the basis of it. And I wanted, I also come from like a skating background, so, and I think it's shooting it in this way, in this very raw kind of like lo-fi way, I think it's the closest. Same with like horror films and stuff. It's like the closest way that you can get to the action, and I think it gives, I think sometimes if it's too cinematic, it can also kind of separate the subject from everything. So it was kind of just really getting it as raw as possible, and just using the TSP as a kind of a backdrop in a sense, and less about the intensities of the race, but taking one step further and kind of going into the individuals and going into their life.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, I'm curious, what was your experience watching the film back?
Yeah, I thought Chris did a beautiful job in telling our stories. As he said, he has his own, and one thing that came through the movie was that we all have our shit going on. We all have shit that we had to face growing up, and we've been able to channel that and help make that version of maybe the person we weren't super confident about change, and that identity we have with ourselves has changed. And one of the biggest factors that we all share that change is running, and through running, there's growth, there's change, there's development, and that story is shown in the movie. We hope everyone loves it. We have very vulnerable moments in there, but they're there to help hopefully inspire others, and just very happy to be a piece of it.
I appreciate you both. We're really honored to help premiere it, and I just want to commend you both. I mean, we have so much respect and love for the crew, and I think everybody that we've met that's connected to the Braves. I think we're just like thankful that they're part of our larger community. Chris, and just like a very powerful, beautiful job with the film. I think a lot of folks come out, and a lot of these films follow a similar storyline because people are doing really unique things at a very high level. 1 second. Do we lose them? Coming back? Maybe? 1 second. It must. Are we back? Got you. I know we're in the mountains. Yeah. But I was just gonna say that that a lot of the really beautiful films that we have about the race experiences follow a similar storyline because they're following a team or an individual that's taking on something that is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And those films are very powerful. I think there's like a very unique perspective that you've brought, which is how can I tell that story in a very different way that feels personal, that feels immersive, that feels unexpected. And I mean, I have like the hairs on my arm are raising because I just am thankful that you brought that in, and then learning a little bit more about your story that's embedded in this as well makes it resonate all that much more. So I appreciate the time. Both of you, I know there's a lot of stuff happening, so I'm so glad we could do this. We're going to show the trailer for Faith in just a minute, and then you can watch the film on Instagram with Berlin Braves and Make Running, and also on Make Running's YouTube, should you choose to do that. But thank you both so much. So glad that y'all ran from Chamonix to Marseille a couple years ago, and I hope to see you both very, very, very soon.
Thanks, Scotty.
Thanks, Scotty.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Chris. So wonderful to chat with Alex and Chris. And again, Faith is available now. By the time you were watching this, by the time I finish this sentence, you can watch Faith here on Make Running via Make Running Presents, or jump over to Instagram. We have the full film shared with Berlin Braves and Make Running. But without further ado, here is the trailer for Faith.
If you constantly get told what you can't do, you start to believe in it. I didn't believe in myself for a very, very long time.
I isolated a lot through middle school. If it wasn't for the attendance that the teacher did in the beginning of class, I would have not said a word.
What's pain? That's temporary!
It's like playing Tom and Jerry with the police.
Today we ride! Today we ride!
Step one is doing it, showing up.
Getting to the start line is the goal.
It's not just about the race, it's about the journey together.
Dangerous as fuck.
We get to choose challenge. Some people don't get to choose challenge. We're choosing this discomfort, and we're lucky to be able to do that and that we can take it.